Alright, just as I did in this title screen for the Elements video that I done, I'm going to show you how I created the animated text. Alright, so let's get started with our little animation here that we're going to do with the text. And we're going to start off by creating a new composition. We'll call it main comp. I'm doing it 1920 by 1080p, and we'll do it for 10 seconds. And notice that I have a transparency background on here. You can change that by clicking on the toggle transparency grid. Doesn't matter which way you have it, but to make it easier to know what you're doing, just leave it on black. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to create a new text. So we're going to hit new text, and it can be any font that you want, but we'll just I'm going to use this font that I have on here. So let's call it gold text, and we'll click on the align and click on these two to align it, and we can make it bigger holding the shift key down here so it'll maintain its composition and size so it doesn't look funny. We'll make it, pretty decent size like that, and then we'll align it again to make sure it's aligned. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to right click on the bottom gold text here. We're going to right click on it, click pre-compose. On the name we'll put gold text and click on move all attributes into the new composition. We're going to click OK. And then now what we'll do is we'll select our top layer over here, and we'll right click again, pre-compose again, and then rename it to stroke, and then click on move all attributes and then click OK. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to hide the stroke layer over here, and then we're going to double click on gold text to comp the layer. And then over here in our projects window over here, we're going to right click, import file, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go to gold text, and we're going to select our studio reflection JPEG file. These project files are going to be available for download at the bottom. So we're going to import that, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take our project file, we're going to put it into the composition right above here, and we're going to hold Control Shift and resize it. Something like that. And then we're going to make sure our image layer over here is selected, and we can go into the effects and presets, and what we're going to do is we're going to search for motion tile, and then we're going to take it and we're going to put it on our image layer here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put the output height to 140, the output width 340, and so make sure you're at the first frame, and we're going to hit the stopwatch for tile center, and then we're going to take this to the last frame, and then we're going to change the volume out a little bit, just like that. That'll be good enough. And so it should look something like that. So that looks good. Okay, and so once again we're gonna click on Studio Reflection Image. We're gonna right click, pre-compose again, move all attributes, and then click OK. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna select the image layer and put it below like this, and we're gonna change the track matte to alpha matte, kind of like that. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to our presets, and we're going to type CC Wobblize, and we're going to apply that to our studio comp here. Okay, so now we're going to go to blurriness, and we're going to change this attribute over here to the gold text. And then what we're going to do is we're going to change this to 20, and then the cutaway to 0. And don't forget to change the lightness to alpha. Okay, we'll close that out. And then again, we'll go to our presets window and type CC Glass. And we're going to select that and drop it onto our studio comp. And then what we're going to do is we're going to select this effect and put it above here, just like this. Okay, so then when we go to surface, and again we select this over to our gold text layer here, and then the lightness we're going to make it red, and softness we're going to set it to 40, height to 50, and displacement minus 400. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to light intensity to 120. Alright. Now we're going to go down here and go to new. And we're going to go to adjustment layer. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our effects, and then we're going to go to color correction, and then we're going to choose curves, and we're going to make changes like this. We'll move this up like this. Select the red. Move that kind of like this. Select the green. Bring it just like this. And then the blue, we'll bring it like that. Maybe we'll bring down these two over here like this. Bring down the red, right, or kind of something like that. That'll be better. So now what we're going to do is go to our main comp, hide the gold text layer, and unhide the stroke layer there. So now once again we go to our effects and preset layer and type in Vegas. And then we're going to select that and put it on our stroke layer. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to change our blend coloring mode to white, and change the blend mode to actual transparent. So now we're going to set our width to 1.50, start opacity 0.800, segment set it to 2, and start opacity will be 0, and mid point opacity 0.535. Okay, next we're going to go back to our presets, type in glow, and we're going to put that on our stroke layer. And then what we'll do is we'll change our glow radius to 80. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go around to like 11 frames. And then we're going to click on the stopwatch for length and segment radius. And we're going to make the length radius to 0. select the stroke layer, press the U key, and then we'll go for a few frames. And we'll go to, let's see here, maybe there, like. So what we'll do is we'll set the length to 1. And then we'll go all the way up to like 310 for the frames. Like that. And then under rotation we'll set that to 140. And it should look something like this. And now bring this back to 1 second. So then what we'll do is we'll go into our stroke layer and press T for the opacity, hit the stopwatch, and then we'll go a few frames, like 128, and we'll bring the opacity to 0. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to unhide our gold text layer, select the gold text layer, and search for CC Light Brush 2.5, which is right here, and then put it on our gold text layer. Okay, what we'll do is we'll go back down to around 11 seconds here, like that. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to set the ray length to 35, set a keyframe on ray length, select the gold text, press U, and then we'll go for a few seconds, like the 205 maybe, something like that. 207. That'll be good. And then what we'll do is we'll go back to ray length over here and set that to 0. So then we'll select the gold text layer here and hold down Shift and press T. So then what we're going to do is we're going to click on opacity, go down to like 1 second, and then we're going to make it 0. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to go down to 1 second. We're going to click on opacity and then make it 0. And then what we'll do is go back to like 207, and then ray length, we'll make it 100%. So that looks alright. So now we're going to close these out like this. I'm going to select both layers like this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to click on the toggle switch between modes over here, between track matte and toggling for 3D, and then we're going to make this 3D. So now we're going to use a camera because this is 3D, so we'll click on right click, then hit new, then hit camera, and make sure it's 35mm camera and click OK. So over here we're going to hold down on the camera thing here and make sure it's track Z camera tool. And then what we're going to do here is press P, and then we're going to click on position, and then we're going to track this little dot over here and bring it to like the first frame over here. And we're going to bring our slider over here down where that little diamond is here, and we're going to zoom out a little bit and see how you got this little icon over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to left click on it to track it, I'm going to move it up something like this to look something just like this. And then we're going to move up to like 1.23 seconds. And then we're going to click again over here. And we're going to drag it down to where it's hidden like that. And then what we'll do is we'll go to the end of our animation. And again, what we're going to do is we're going to drag it down just a little bit. Okay, for smooth animation, what we're going to do is we're going to select both of these. We're going to click on Control here and do the same thing for this one. That'll be for smooth animation. And we'll bring our slider here to like 1.04. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make a new background. We're going to right click, New, Solid, and we'll rename it BG for background. And we'll set the color to a dark gray, like that. And we'll click OK. We can zoom back in if we like. And then select the layer here and drag it below. And you should be able to see the gold text layer there. That looks good. Okay, let's go to 211 timeline right over here. And then now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the project window, click import, select import file, and then the glowing particles. And then we're going to take it and drag it into our timeline right over here, just below the camera like that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to select that gold text layer. And so then what we'll do is we'll go to 6 seconds. And then make sure, like I said, the gold text layer is selected. And press T for opacity, and then we'll make a keyframe right over here in that little diamond. And we'll go to like 702. And then we're going to make it 0. Like that. So that completes this gold text animation. And as you'll see, now this is not rendered in full resolution, that's why it looks so horrible, but you're going to see what it looks like after you render it. And to render it and save it, you're going to hit Control M so you can save the animation. And this is what our gold text animation looks like. Thank you for watching.